It was exactly 3:17 a.m. In the small town of Black Pine, Colorado, USA, 29-year-old Ethan Wilson was sitting alone in his apartment. Heavy rain was hitting the windows and the entire building was strangely silent. Ethan was a crime investigator who worked on cases that had no clear answers. But tonight something was about to happen that would completely change his life. Suddenly his phone started ringing. When he looked at the screen, his face turned pale because the number calling him was his own number. He thought it was a technical mistake, but the phone kept ringing. Finally, with fear and curiosity, Ethan answered the call. For a few seconds, there was only heavy breathing on the other side. Then a low voice whispered, "Ethan, listen carefully. You only have 20 minutes. Ethan immediately asked, "Who are you?" The voice replied, "I am you, but from 24 hours in the future." Ethan froze. His hand almost dropped the phone. He thought it was a prank and disconnected the call. But a few seconds later, a video arrived on his phone. The video showed the exact same room where Ethan was sitting. But there was one difference. In the video, the room was destroyed and Ethan was lying injured on the floor. At the end of the video, a man wearing a black mask appeared and said, "Tomorrow night at 3:17, there will be another victim." Ethan's heart started beating faster. He immediately started analyzing the video. He discovered that it was real and there was no sign of editing. Suddenly, someone knocked loudly on his apartment door. Ethan grabbed his camera and slowly walked toward the entrance. When he opened the door, nobody was there. But on the floor, he found an old photograph. Looking at it, Ethan's eyes widened. The picture showed the masked man standing with Ethan's younger sister, Lily, who had disappeared 5 years ago. Lily's disappearance was never solved. The police believed she was dead, but Ethan never accepted that. Suddenly, his phone rang again. This time, the voice sounded terrified. "Ethan, if you want to save Lily, go to the old Westwood Hospital. But remember, don't trust everything you see there." Ethan immediately grabbed his car keys and drove toward the abandoned hospital outside the city. Westwood Hospital had been closed for years after several mysterious deaths. People believed strange voices of patients could still be heard there at night. As Ethan entered the hospital, his phone automatically started recording. The inside was dark and old medical files were scattered everywhere. Suddenly, he heard a voice from one room. "Ethan." The voice sounded exactly like Lily. He rushed inside, but the room was empty. Only an old tape recorder was placed on a table. Ethan pressed the play button. Lily's voice started playing. "If you are hearing this, it means they found me. But the biggest truth is that nobody kidnapped me. I was hiding because I discovered the truth about everyone." Suddenly, the room door locked itself. Ethan turned around and saw words written on the wall. "You were never investigating the case. You were part of it." Ethan was shocked. He didn't understand what it meant. Then he heard footsteps slowly coming closer. Someone was walking toward him in the darkness. Ethan raised his flashlight. The black masked man was standing there. But this time, he removed his mask. Ethan's breathing stopped. It was not a stranger. It was Ryan, his old friend who Ethan believed had died 5 years ago. Ryan smiled and said, "Now you will learn the real story. Lily was never taken by anyone. She disappeared because she knew the real danger was you." Ethan stepped back and said, "You are lying." Ryan pulled out a file containing old documents with Ethan's name on them. The evidence showed that Ethan was also present on the night Lily disappeared. Ethan tried to remember, but his memories were completely blank. Suddenly, all the lights in the hospital went off. In the darkness, a girl's voice whispered, "Ethan, you need your memories back." The screen suddenly turned on, showing an old video. The footage showed Ethan, Lily, and Ryan inside Westwood Hospital 5 years ago. But at the end of the video, something terrifying appeared. There was a fourth person standing with them, and that person looked exactly like Ethan. The screen went black. Ryan looked at Ethan and said, "Now the real investigation begins, because your biggest enemy is not outside. It is hidden inside you." At that moment, a terrifying scream came from the basement of the hospital. Ethan realized Lily might still be alive. But the biggest question remained. Who was she hiding from, and what horrifying truth was buried inside Ethan's forgotten memories? To be continued. The basement door was slightly open and a cold wind was coming from inside. Ethan looked at Ryan with fear and confusion. He wanted answers, but he knew that whatever was waiting beneath Westwood Hospital was connected to his forgotten past. Slowly, Ethan and Ryan walked down the old stairs. Every step made a loud cracking sound, and the darkness around them felt alive. The walls were covered with old patient names and strange symbols. Suddenly, Ethan's phone started recording by itself again. On the screen, a message appeared. "Memory restoration in progress." Ethan froze. He whispered, "What is happening to me?" Ryan stayed silent. After a few moments, Ryan said, "5 years ago, you came here with Lily and me. But something happened that night that changed everything." Ethan looked at him and asked, "Why don't I remember anything?" Ryan replied, "Because someone erased your memories." They reached the bottom of the basement and found a large hidden laboratory. Inside were old machines, cameras, and hundreds of files. Ethan opened one of the files and saw his own picture. The file title shocked him, Subject E01. Ethan's hand started shaking. He turned the pages and discovered that someone had been testing on him for years. Suddenly, an old recording started playing. A man's voice said, "The human mind is the greatest weapon. If memories can be controlled, people can be controlled." Ethan realized that Westwood Hospital was not just a hospital. It was a secret research facility. Ryan pointed toward another room and said, "That is where Lily was kept." Ethan quickly ran toward the room. Inside, he found an old chair with broken chains and a small notebook lying on the floor. The notebook belonged to Lily. The first page had one sentence written, "Ethan is not the enemy. He is the key." Ethan became confused. Suddenly, the lights turned on and a security screen showed Lily standing in another part of the building. She looked older, tired, and scared. Ethan shouted, "Lily!" The screen displayed a message, "Come alone." Ryan tried to stop him. He said, "It could be a trap." But Ethan refused to leave his sister again. He followed the signal and reached an underground room hidden behind the laboratory. When the door opened, Lily was standing there. For a few seconds, both brother and sister just looked at each other. Ethan's eyes filled with tears. He said, "I thought I lost you forever." Lily replied, "I wanted to come back, but I couldn't. They were watching me." Ethan asked, "Who are they?" Before Lily could answer, the room lights changed to red. A voice came from the speakers. "Welcome back, Ethan." Ethan immediately recognized the voice. It was Dr. Victor Hale, the scientist who disappeared years ago and was believed to be dead. Dr. Hale appeared on the screen and smiled. "You finally discovered the truth." Ethan angrily asked, "Why did you do this to us?" Hale replied, "Because you were the perfect experiment." Your memories were powerful, and I wanted to prove that a person's identity could be rewritten. Ethan realized that the strange phone call, the videos, and everything that happened was part of Hale's plan. But Hale made one mistake. He underestimated Ethan's ability to fight back. Ethan secretly connected his camera to the hospital system and started uploading all the evidence. Hale noticed it and became furious. "You think you can stop me?" Suddenly the doors locked and gas started filling the room. Lily began coughing. Ethan quickly searched for an escape route. Ryan broke the emergency panel and opened a small exit door. They escaped seconds before the room filled completely. But while running through the underground tunnels, Ethan stopped. He remembered something from 5 years ago. He remembered that he was the one who helped Lily escape the first time. He was never part of Hale's experiment willingly. He had tried to destroy the entire operation. But Hale erased his memories to hide the truth. Ethan finally understood everything. The real reason he became a crime investigator was because his own mind was trying to find the missing pieces. Suddenly, Dr. Hale appeared in front of them with armed guards. He said, "You remember now, but it doesn't matter. This place will become your grave." Ethan looked at Lily and Ryan. This time he was not afraid. He knew the truth, and truth was his strongest weapon. A dangerous fight began inside the abandoned hospital. The guards attacked, but Ethan and Ryan managed to fight back. Lily found the main control system and started deleting Hale's entire research. Hale tried to stop her, but Ethan blocked his way. Hale shouted, "You are nothing without my experiment." Ethan replied, "No, I am someone because I survived it." Suddenly, the entire laboratory started collapsing. The machines exploded and alarms filled the underground facility. Ethan, Lily, and Ryan escaped as the secret laboratory was destroyed forever. Police arrived after receiving the evidence from Ethan's camera. Dr. Victor Hale was arrested, and the truth about Westwood Hospital became public. Months later, Ethan and Lily finally started a normal life again. But Ethan still had one question.